We're starting a new garden season and there is a lot to do in my front flower garden bed, but there's a few things that I need to worry about, especially right now, considering the fact that I am pregnant. So if you are pregnant, definitely know someone that is pregnant. We definitely have to address a few major concerns when it comes to gardening safely, especially when you're pregnant. So in this video, it is all about concerns, how to safely garden while you're pregnant, but also we're going to address something that's very, very important, at least for me right now, because there are cats in the neighborhood, something called Toxoplasmosis. Let's go. What's going on, my plant peoples? I'm the ADHD gardener, where I use gardening, houseplants, and humor as a much needed form of mental health therapy, sobriety, and also learning how to navigate this crazy ass world with ADHD using tips, tricks, and hacks that we have in our garden. And yes, I am 5 months pregnant, but that is definitely not going to stop me from gardening. But there are a lot of precautions that we have to take care of when you're trying to safely garden while you're pregnant. And the first thing is a major concern of everybody's is toxoplasmosis. So I'm definitely going to be addressing that. You're wondering what in the world is that? That is a parasitic infection that you can definitely get and acquire from messing with soil. I know it's not fun at all, and I was surprised to hear that everyone, oh, you can't garden when you're pregnant. I refuse to do that. But that means if you are going to garden when you're pregnant, that means we have to take some severe precaution. And that's what I'm going to be doing right now. I'm actually going to be putting up a fence around my entire flower beds in the front, because we have some neighborhood cats that like to use my flipping flower bed as a litter box. And I'm not having that. So the first thing we're going to need is definitely a pair of gloves. You need a pair of gloves. Do not touch the soil directly with your hands. That is exactly how it is contracted. Toxoplasmosis, it comes from an infection called Toxoplasma gondii. That comes from any type of felines or cats that are infected with that parasite. So let's just say that cat has been in your flower bed just pooping away all to its, using it as a litter box. That means that if you touch it directly with your hands to the soil, even in the feces or anything like that that has been touched by that cat, you will directly get infected with that toxoplasma, and you do not want that at all. Now, it starts as an oocyte, which is a little egg, okay? And then that egg starts to spread inside of the body. So once you have become infected with, by touching the feces of the cat, all right? So don't be touching anything. Even the soil of touching that cat alone can leave you susceptible to getting toxoplasmosis. Once it's inside of your body, some people with a good immune system will not detect or find any, symptoms, or won't become symptomatic. But however, if you are pregnant, it is directly going to go into your placenta, where your baby is being, is growing. These T-posts that I've been using for my peppers, I'm actually going to just take some of these for now and use them in front of the fence, because I could just, I can replace them later on. But this is what I've been using. You can use any other type of fencing, but this fencing I liked because it was very, very transparent. You could see right through it, and it was definitely going to be able to keep the cats out, as well as being a little flexible enough for me to just kind of start the project at least on my own. If the baby is exposed to this infection, there can be permanent neurological damage, even blindness, when it comes to the baby once it is born. I've also heard of seizures and other neurological deficits that can occur, and that is no reversing that at all. Approximately 500 to 5,000 cases of toxoplasmosis is found in the U.S. alone a year. This is not only just found in undercooked meat or even in the soil. You can actually find it in contaminated water and soil, and even in the produce from the contaminated soil. So we really have to take serious precautions. So what I wanted to do is keep out the cats from my flower beds, but I also wanted to keep out the deer. So the deer in itself is probably going to be able to reach its head and neck and head into the garden. I've already said that you must wear gloves. Do not expose your skin to the soil at all. But you can also find toxoplasmosis through the water, contaminated water, the soil, anything that has been exposed to that infection is not good, especially the produce. If that produce was grown in that toxoplasmosis environment where the cats have been, then it is in the produce. Although I have a vegetable garden out in my backyard that has a 6-foot fence surrounding my entire backyard, I have yet to find any cats. There has never been a cat in my backyard. However, I do have chickens, and you know what? Chickens can carry toxoplasmosis as well. However, you really don't see that often. When you do have cats along with chickens in the same area, that poses a higher risk, of course, because of the cats. But if you don't have any cats around the chickens, it's a very, very, very low chance. Now, another thing is that if your chicken's free range, that's another higher incidence of possible toxoplasmosis because of its free range capabilities. Them chickens can go wherever they feel like it. However, again, I am a backyard with a large fence. My chickens are free range, but they just free range within my backyard. So, being that I've never had a cat back there, it's a very, very, very low chance, slim to none, that I have to worry about my chickens. You really don't see that often. When you do have cats along with chickens in the same area, that poses a higher risk, of course, because of the cats. Yo, it only took me how many years to get this right? Like, this is my best fence yet. I'm so excited. Come at me, dear. They're not going to be able to eat none of this. And granted, the cats will be able to jump this, but I think we got lazy neighborhood cats, so hopefully they won't. But yeah, come on, this looks so nice. Look at that. Well, you can barely see a fence going on. Look at that. Oh, man. My Rose of Sharon. My hydrangeas right there. Then I got my roses, my vining roses. They're gonna go like this. Then they're gonna go up the window. Eventually, I want this whole like wall side covered with roses. Oh, it's gonna be nice. Right in the beginning of the close to the fence is all the small type of plants. They only get to be about like maybe 1 to 2 feet tall. So just in case when those deer try to, reach their head across or reach right over, they're not going to be able to reach any of the plants. All of my taller plants are going to be in the back. Now that I kind of blew away all of the leaves, I can kind of assess what is going on with my flower beds. And definitely my 2 bushes. I forget the name of these 2 bushes. Oh my gosh, but either way, those deer definitely eat those 2 bushes that I have there. Okay, the reason why I took off all the leaves is because I could not see the status of my soil when all the leaves were being, covering it. See, I don't really know exactly what the cats have gotten into. So what I'm going to do is actually cover this with a layer of compost and then just hopefully work from there. I'm just happy with the way my fence came out. Look at that. That looks nice. I've already gotten compliments from my neighbors and everything about my fence. Did the other side with the fence as well. But I ran out of fencing, so I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do for, to cover that, close that gap, so the deer and the cats don't get in there. But for the most part, all of that was done, also. So hopefully I get to protect it because I got that plant, which again I forgot the name of it. Got my hydrangeas, and I'm probably gonna put another hollyhock in the middle of this as well. Maybe a peonies. I like that idea. I really hope you enjoyed this video and you got some good information out of it. Let me know down in the comments below. Have you ever known anyone about, that has been infected with toxoplasmosis? Have you even heard of it before? I mean, I have heard of it, but I never really thought of it as a serious precaution until I became pregnant. If you know anyone that is pregnant or loves to garden and is thinking about, becoming pregnant, please send them this video. It is very highly informative. And there are a lot of precautions we can take, but we can safely garden at the same time. So never fear. There are, wonderful ways to still garden while you're pregnant. So it's all good. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to smash that like button. And until the next episode, you guys, peace and love. God bless you all. Until the next episode. Peace.